This is episode number 19. Why do we need Moksham? The definition of God is Sat Chit Ananda, meaning existence, consciousness and bliss. This describes Nirguna Brahman, which is formless and nameless. The gods and goddesses we pray to are called Saguna Brahman. Bhagavad Gita chapter 12 verse 5 states that Kleso dikataraste avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehavadhiravapyate. The verse indicates that worshipping the unmanifest is very challenging for embodied beings. Sri Krishna recommends worshipping God with form and name such as Rama, Krishna and Ganesha. God exists everywhere beyond time and space. Consciousness permeates the entire universe and there is no place where consciousness is absent. The true nature of Brahman is Ananda, the bliss. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 4 states that Maya tadamidam sarvam jagatavyaekta murtina. Sri Krishna states that the whole universe is filled with Him in His unmanifest form, which is consciousness. Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 verse 15 states that Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishno. Sri Krishna states that He resides in the hearts of all living beings as the unmanifest form of consciousness. We are only consciousness. Unfortunately, we identify with our body, mind and intellect out of ignorance. God is consciousness. We mortal beings are consciousness along with ego sense. We do not need to do anything to attain Moksham. We are already in Moksham. However, our ego sense, like a wheel, obstructs us from realizing that consciousness, like a cloud blocking the sun from our view. Our aim is solely to lift that wheel of ignorance. In Vedantic terms, this wheel of ignorance is called avidya or agnanam. So far, we understand that we and God are one and the same, except for our additional sense of ego. Now the question is, why do we need to remove this ego sense? As long as this ego sense exists, we cannot escape the cycle of birth, death and rebirth. The idea of higher birth after death is deeply rooted in our culture. Suppose we are born into the wealthiest or most influential family, even then suffering and fear do not disappear. It is a universal law that when the body exists, suffering and fear follow like a shadow. Infinite consciousness is filled with bliss, limitless love, compassion, grace and fearlessness. These are intrinsic qualities of consciousness, just as heat belongs to fire or light to the sun. When we merge into the consciousness, we become consciousness, just like rivers flow into the ocean and become part of it. A man standing waist deep in a river cries out for water. Our condition is no different. We are already immersed in the infinite ocean of bliss. Yet we feel sorrow, fear, and suffering. The problem is not the absence of bliss, but the wheel of ignorance that prevents us from experiencing it. At every moment, we have a choice either to lift this veil and awaken to our true nature, or cling to the ego and be swept along helplessly in the endless cycle of birth and death. Thank you. Hari Om. Sadguru Nannagaru.